This will be a recorded event, so we're going to post this later on. So if you miss it, you can share this opportunity with your friends. So good evening, everyone, or good morning, because we have people joining from all over the world. Thank you for joining in our virtual open house tonight for the Organic Farming Certificate Program. My name is Justin Barclay. I work at the Rodale Institute as the Veteran Programs Manager, and I help run the summer semester portion of the Organic Farming Certificate Program at the Rodale Institute. My counterpart there at Delaware Valley University, or formerly, or known as Del Val, is Joe Grotto. I'll let him introduce himself quick, and then we're going to turn it over to Dr. Jackie Ricotta, and she'll be leading the introduction to our program tonight.
Hi, my name is Joe Grotto. I'm the Organic Farming Program Coordinator at Del Val University, and I run the fall and spring semester. I recruit students, help them apply, and then help them with their day-to-day issues in the fall and the spring. And I will be monitoring the chat area, so if you have questions as we're going along, I'll try to answer as many questions as I can, and I'll pass it over to Dr. Ricotta.
Okay, great. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Joe. It is really great to be here this evening, so thanks to everyone for checking in with us. So I'm just going to give a little rundown on the Organic Farming Certificate Program. In case you haven't heard of Delaware Valley University, we are located in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour north of Philadelphia. And just really briefly, Del Val has been around for a very long time. It was founded as the National Farm School in 1896 by Rabbi Joseph Krauskopf. So Del Val has been teaching agriculture for almost 125 years. And one of the things that Rabbi Krauskopf was really adamant about was science with practice. And we have continued that to this day with the way that we teach at Del Val, which is a really very much of a hands-on philosophy. So to do that, we have almost 1,100 acres on 3 different farms. 2 of the farms are used extensively for this program, as well as our other agriculture programs. And we also have what is called the E360 program, which is, it requires work experience for all students prior to graduation. So everyone at Del Val, no matter what your major, you have to have some sort of experiences before you finish up. And that has carried over to our Organic Farming Certificate Program with our Farm Practicum class. And I'll explain that in a minute. So this certificate program that we partner with the Rodale Institute actually started back in 2012. And we had just 1 student at that point, but we've had many students since then, and many of our students have actually started farming. You're going to hear from a couple of them this evening. In 2014, we received the first of 2 USDA National Institute for Food and Agriculture Beginning Farmer and Rancher Development grants. So we need to say thanks to the USDA for funding our program since then. And as I mentioned, the program really does emphasize hands-on learning. We try to use our academic classes as a springboard for what you're going to be doing and seeing and experiencing out in the field. And all of the pictures that you see this evening are actually real students who are out working, whether it's in a class or whether it's part of their farm practicum. This is actually at Del Val, and they're learning how to use a water wheel transplanter to transplant vegetable crops. So the way the curriculum works, and you would be at Del Val for 3 days a week. In the fall semester, we have a class in organic food and fiber, and this particular course emphasizes the national organic standards. These days, it's becoming more and more common for organic farms to become certified. Maybe not right away, but eventually many of them do get their certification. So organic food and fiber goes over the National Organic Standards, takes the viewpoint of the National Organic Standards Board and the government programs And as you'll see, we do a lot with actually having some certified organic ground at Del Valle as well. The second fall course is Marketing of Horticulture Products. In this class, we try to get everybody to start their own business. Not for real, but it really makes you think about what would be your farm-based business. What would you really love to do if you were going to open a farm-based business? And so you'll write a marketing plan. You'll learn about writing a business plan. You'll create marketing tools for your business. And ultimately, this class concludes with a Shark Tank presentation where you present your business ideas to an imaginary panel of bankers, seeing if they'll actually give you a loan to start this business. Our newest class in the fall semester is Organic Livestock Management. This is taught by a PhD level animal scientist as well as our farm staff. And here you'll learn all about how to raise livestock, everything from chickens to goats to dairy cattle, beef cattle, swine, how to do that organically and how to handle those animals as well. And so that gives everyone some experience with livestock. And then every semester, you'll see this in the fall, the spring, and in the summer, there's the farm practicum. And what the farm practicum is where you actually work on an organic farm. So you can work at Del Valle's farm, you can work on a farm near where you live. In the summer, you have the choice of working up at Rodale, but this is really where you get a lot of experience. And we try through the farm practicum to relate your experiences on the farm with what you're being taught in the classroom. So again, trying to make those connections so you really get the best of both worlds. You get the academic experience and you get the hands-on farming experience. So those are our farm practicum courses, and we meet once a week and everyone shares their experiences, what they're doing. We often have speakers or other people who help with just different things that are really necessary for a farmer to know. So for example, we back in the fall, we had the NRCS come and talk about how farmers can actually apply for their free services. That's the Natural Resources Conservation Service. So that was all through the farm practicum. In the spring semester, there's commercial vegetable production, and I'll show a couple slides about the big project that you do there, but you actually do raise vegetables for class. Part of what you learn. There's a course in Principles of Sustainable Agriculture, which is a bit more philosophical. It examines the roots of sustainable and organic agriculture, how we got to where we are in agriculture today. So this is a really nice course that rounds out your training so that you're able to speak knowledgeably on why did you decide to be an organic farmer? What are your views on organic farmer? What are your views on the food system? So that's Principles of Sustainable Ag. And then we have Integrated Pest Management. This course deals with how to control insects, diseases, weeds, mammals, mollusk pests, all the different types of pests that you might have on a farm. And you can choose the crop of your choice to do a big research project for this. And we also take a few field trips to an organic greenhouse where they use lots of biological controls, as well as to an insect lab where they actually raise insects to release out in the field to control different pests. So that's the fall and the spring semester. This is at Del Valle. In the summer, you'll spend about 11 weeks at Rodale. Again, 3 days a week. And the classes that you're taking would be soil biology, and you're going to actually hear from Dr. Yi Chow this evening. There's a class in plant health management, which is really out in on the farm, looking at all of what's going on in the field. And then again, the farm practicum, which is just really work on the Rodale's farm or on other farms. So just a few examples of some of our hands-on learning. I've mentioned them as I've gone through the classes. We'll talk about the organic certification, vegetable production, and then show you some slides from some of our field trips. So here we actually see some students talking with a farmer in their greenhouse, and this was on one of our field trips to a farm about 20 minutes from Delaware. Our organic certification training is excellent because we do have certified organic at Delaware. So as I mentioned, you begin to learn the national organic standards. You begin to learn how to work with a certifier. Our certifier is PCO, or Pennsylvania Certified Organic. When you become certified organic, you have to submit an organic system plan. So you will see Delware's organic system plan, learn how to fill out your own organic system plan, and then you actually accompany the inspector and our farmer. This is from our Roth farm, which is about 15 minutes from Delaware. You accompany them on the inspection. So you kind of see that right here. And then you actually go through the exit interview. So this is the inspector, this is the farmer, and these are some of our students listening to the inspector tell the farmer what they saw and how it's actually going to impact their certification. So this is one of the ways that, again, we really teach you in a hands-on manner. We want you experiencing the things that you might experience on your own farm or on someone else's farm. We do a project with high tunnel vegetable production. Again, you will plant in the high tunnel. Some of the students working at the Roth farm maintain things in the high tunnel, and you learn how to actually lay down drip irrigation, do some pest control. So this is another one of our hands-on projects. During the winter, this is in part of the commercial vegetable production class. Each student, or sometimes it's a pair of students, actually gets 40 square feet of their own in the greenhouse to raise vegetable crops. So you are actually farming, okay, on a very, very small scale. But you can see in the picture, this is what the greenhouse looks like. A lot of people were raising cucumbers. By the end of the semester, you can barely walk through here. It's such a jungle. And just, you know, you see, this is one of our students who raised a daikon radish. So it's pretty amazing in just 40 square feet what you can actually come up with. Again, it's another hands-on project that adds to your experiences throughout the program. We do take a lot of field trips, and we go to lots of different types of farms. We do this not only in my classes, but in the livestock class as well, and at Rodale during the summer semester they take field trips. You really get to see a lot of different tools and techniques. That's the very interesting thing about organic farming, is everyone does things a little bit differently. And so it's a wonderful experience to get out on someone else's farm and see how they're doing things. And most farmers are so open and willing to share their experiences with new farmers. It's really been a wonderful, gratifying part of this program to visit so many of our farms. And what you see here on the right, it doesn't look like much, but it's actually a paper pot transplanter. And it's something that a lot of small organic farmers use. We don't have one at Delaware, but we were able to see one working at one of the farms we visited last year. So I wanted to add that because it's again an example of how you learn from other people as well as learning in the classroom. So that's about it. That's all I really wanted to say. We're going to have questions at the end, but I just wanted to emphasize, and here they are in case you can't see them very well, but this is Justin Barkley at the Rodale Institute, and this is Joe Grotto at Delaware. Either one of these guys can really help you if you have any questions about the program after this evening. Here is Joe's phone number at Delaware, 215-489-2318. Again, you know, we can put these email addresses and these phone numbers up, but Joe and Justin will help get you going in the program. So thank you so much again for tuning in this evening, and I will look forward to answering any of your questions later tonight.
Thank you, Jackie. And just to tie in with what you talked about, you know, these field trips, it is very important to visit and to check out a lot of these different organic farms, because everyone does something, you know, a little bit different. They're growing something different. Some people have animals, some people don't. And literally the first day that the students are at Rodale this summer, they're going on a field trip that afternoon to Tooth of the Lion, which is was a very popular farm that we visited over the past couple of years, and the students really enjoy it. Caitlin Melvin is the farmer there, and she grows a lot of herbs that she uses in her own tinctures and for some of the stuff that she sells at the local farmers market. So again, that's just kind of a little bit different of a farm. You know, she doesn't quite grow the traditional vegetables that some other people grow, but we like to expose people to many different farm types. And the other thing we try to stress is we try to visit beginning farmers, so that the lessons and the struggles that these farmers had to go through the past couple of years are still fresh in their mind. You know, they remember the challenge that they had 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago to get their farm up off the ground and running. Some of the other things that we do at the Rodale Institute for your summer practicum portion, at least 120 of your hours will be spent at Rodale learning a whole variety of tasks. We throw some tractor training in there. We have time spent learning about our agricultural supported communities program, which is similar to a CSA. You'll learn about the bees, a little bit about the greenhouse, but not too much because you'll get a lot of that at Del Val. But what else do we have there? You'll learn about just some of the organic livestock that we have there, which is pigs and chickens at the moment that we have at Rodale. And you also have access to, you know, to literally world-class, you know, staff that we have there. Yichao Roy, he's our soil scientist. He's one of our panelists tonight. And Yichao, if you can go ahead and unmute if you want, if you have anything that you would like to add. He's actually literally, you know, providing training this week to the Del Val students as part of their summer semester. I'll give Yichao here a few minutes. He's got a wealth of knowledge. He's a very humble man, but he has experience growing and understands the soil on 3 different continents, which is not a lot of soil scientists have worked on 3 different continents. So we're glad to have him on board there at Rodale, and he's a great asset to our program.
Okay, thanks, Justin. Thanks, Joe and Jackie. So can you hear me? Okay, I can't start my video, so I just unmuted myself.
Yep, yeah, oh, there we go. Yeah, just go ahead and talk. Some of the people don't have the video.
Okay, no problem. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name's Yichao Roy. I am a soil scientist at Rodale Institute, also the instructor of the soil biology course of the Organic Farming Certificate Program. Very excited to be here and see so many of you interested in this program. Also, very excited to see some of my former students online. They are doing great things right now in organic farming. So thanks for being here. At Rodale Institute, I oversee soil health related research, education, and outreach, and also serve as the lead scientist of several research projects funded by the federal government. I currently lead the USDA Conservation Innovation Grant Project on innovations of organic no-till systems to see how organic no-till practices improve soil health and nutrient management in grain production systems. Also, I lead another recently awarded USDA foundational grant on the microbial mechanisms in building and stabilizing soil organic matter. Before I came to Rodale, I have worked in different places in the world, as Justin introduced. After I got my PhD degree in soil science in Griffith University in Australia, I worked as research scientist in the University of Western Australia and the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So the reason why I decided to work at Rodale is because of the opportunity to learn about the past, current, and future of US agriculture. So Rodale Institute, as some of you may know that, was the birthplace of organic agriculture in the United States. So this year is the 40th year of our farming systems trial, the longest running side-by-side comparison of conventional chemical agriculture and organic agriculture. So conventional agriculture and food supply are destroying our immune systems, the outcome of which has been very evident and devastating in this pandemic. Everybody knows that. Although organic food has been increasingly accepted by consumers, it is still less than 1% of US cropping land. So we still have a long way to go to make meaningful changes in our agriculture systems. As scientists and educators, we have a lot more work to do. But fortunately, what is inspiring and encouraging is that in the past few years, I've seen so many people interested in getting into this business, especially the students in the organic farming certificate program. So being able to learn what the students really need and continuously interacting with the students, even after they graduate, that's really something makes me feel motivated and excited. So in a soil biology course, the messages I'm trying to convey is that soil is a living system, and soil health is a dynamic term. So during the course, we spend a lot of time in the field. We bring our own soils from our own backyard or our own farms to analyze them ourselves. We learn about interpreting soil test reports and designing proper crop rotations and incorporating things like cover crops or amendments when we need. But while we are learning about the practice that are optimizing soil biological activities and improving soil health, we are also reconnecting with Mother Nature. I think that's something I found really valuable, the connection between me and the students. And that's the thing I want to share with my students all the time. So I guess that's what I want to say. And thank you again for joining us. And I look forward to talking to you more in the future. Thanks.
Yeah, for those people who are joining us tonight, you'll get to interact a whole, summer semester with Dr. Rui next, in 2021 if you guys join the program. We also have a plant health management course. So your coursework is slightly a little bit less within the summer. We have 2 classes instead of 3, but we have a lot more practicum hours because, summer is the primary growing season, at least in Pennsylvania. So other parts of the world, that's your winter season. So maybe you're flip-flop. But again, we've had very positive experiences working with the students throughout the past several years. Last summer was a really great summer. Out of the 6 students that were there, 5 of them are currently farming right now, and I think the 6th is even part-time farming. So some of them have jumped right in here, and in a few minutes here, I'm going to turn it right over to Chris Molnar. He finished up his program last summer. I think was his final semester for the 3-semester program. And one of the other benefits with this program is that you can start at the beginning of any semester. They have a rolling enrollment, so you're able to begin and join this program at either the fall, spring, or summer semester. You're just able to jump in at the start of that and begin your program. So if you're really excited, go ahead and talk to Joe and some of the other Del Val staff that we have here with Lonnie and Steph during the Q&A session, and they'll give you all the info that you need to get jump started and enrolled in Del Val. So without further ado, I don't want to do too much talking tonight. Chris Molnar, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself. Chris recently purchased a farm this past spring, and he's already begun farming, hopefully we trained him well. So.
Hi, I'm Chris Molnar.
And I'm Emily Ingersoll. I'm here with him as well in the past year.
We're both graduates of the program. Now, like Justin said, we have a farm together here in Pipersville. It's still early stages, so we're still both just getting going and working at other farms. And I just recently stopped working at one. So I did the program I started in the fall of 2018 and then did it full time through last summer, 2019. I did all my practicum at the Roth farm, which was a really awesome experience for me. The farmer there, Bryce, he's really great and taught me a lot. And between, you know, what we were learning in the class with Dr. Okada and then seeing it hands-on at the farm there, it was really nice to do that. And then after I finished the program, I stuck around for just 2 more semesters, just taking some more classes that interested me. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, so I was using up some more my GI Bill, just putting that to use. And then, yeah, just closed on the farm in March, and then the world closed. So I continued to work on the Roth farm as an actual paid worker up and through the end of this spring semester. So just a couple weeks ago, really, I stopped working there, and now working on our farm here full time. We're doing this year, we've got about 45 acres in oats right now. We have about 9 acres in hemp, and then we're getting the vegetables and medicinal herbs and the orchard, which is what Emily and I are really passionate about, a lot of permaculture, things like that. So we're slowly getting that going. And yeah, I'll let Emily now talk about her.
So yeah, Emily Ingersoll. I did the program. I started in January of 2019. So I started in the spring semester, which was perfect for me because I did a career switch, and it was something that
Emily, real quick, could you speak a little bit louder? We're having trouble.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I started the program in January 2019. I made a career switch, so that was the spring semester. I was actually in school for something completely different, and I'd always wanted to have my own farm, and I was putting it off, and then all of a sudden I discovered the informational video for this program and instantly knew that, you know, this is what I wanted to do, and it kind of gave me the motivation and helped me realize that, you know, this was something that could bring me there. It was a stepping stone to help me figure out how to get there, because I'd never been farming. I didn't have any family members who farmed, so I didn't know where to start. So this was a great place to start, and it helped me really discover and narrow down what type of farming I was most interested in, especially the practicum, being able to choose which farm I could go on. So I played around with herb farms, vegetable farms, and got a lot of different experiences. Some with CSAs, so they all had different approaches, which was really great. And then even that hands-on experience in the classroom and being able to do all of the field trips to different farms and seeing how they did things, how they approached it, how they started up. It was really encouraging and inspiring. And so now I'm currently working on a farm, and I'm managing their CSA distribution, and then I'm also helping. I'm an assistant beekeeper with them too. I didn't have much experience. I saw a little bit while at Rodale, and so now I'm learning how to do that much more hands-on, which is really great. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, you know, we both like the program. And yeah, I don't know, Justin, you can take it back.
That's perfect. You know, like we said, they're beginning farmers. They're figuring out, you know, what they wanted to do, and you know, we wanted to get some, recent graduates of the program. And another good thing I forgot to mention earlier about the program is that you do have the option of rolling the certificate into a sustainable ag 4-year degree. So some of the students don't necessarily start farming right away at the end of their 1 year. Some of them stick around for another 3 years to get their 4-year bachelor's degree, and then they start farming. So that's just another one of the nice options that this program has. Some people start farming right away, you know, and some people, want to get a little bit more education first. And now the next former student that we'd like to introduce you to, her name is McKenna Moore, and she's partnered with Mike Sheridan. Mike Sheridan is one of our partners on our most recent grant, and he has what we call an incubator farm. An incubator farm is a farm that allows you, to get access to land for very, very cheap or sometimes free. So one of the opportunities is, that Mike Sheridan there at Common Ground Farm and Retreat, located in Kempton, which is the northern part of Berks County. Mike's been willing to work with graduates of the program and provide them land for basically, basically free. So I'm going to turn it over now to McKenna Moore and to Mike Sheridan. I'll let McKenna go first, and she can talk about her experience in the program and what she's currently doing.
Hi, everyone. Like Justin said, my name is McKenna Moore. I'm a recent graduate from Delaware Valley University with my degree in sustainable ag, in addition to going through the organic farming certificate program. My experience through the program was positive to the 100th degree. I really had hands-on experiences in a lot of areas of organic farming, everything from working on an organic herb farm to an organic flower farm, with a primary focus in organic livestock, which is where I found my real passion was, with working to do rotational grazing with livestock. Currently, I'm partnered with Common Ground Farm and Retreat, the incubator farm that Justin mentioned just a moment ago, which is in Berks County, Pennsylvania, rotationally grazing sheep. I just started this farm project probably going on 2 or 3 months ago. That there was a lot of planning prior to that. Those 3 months were when the sheep first arrived. And now, during my time at Common Ground, we had our first lambs born just two and 3 days ago, so they're pretty small at this point. And the rest of our herd is rotationally grazing in the upper paddocks that we have over at Common Ground. So that's a little bit about my experience over there. Yeah, I think that's what I have to say, unless you need me to clarify a little bit more.
So thanks, McKenna. Now I'll quick turn it over to Mike. Mike, and what his program offers. Mike is one of the Common Ground Farm and Retreat is one of the 3 incubator farms that we work with in the area. Those are all part of the field trips that the students will be involved with this summer. So I'll turn it over to Mike.
Thanks, Justin. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hello, everybody. And you're in for a treat if you're going to join this program. It's a great program. We have reached out to Rodale a while ago. We run a retreat center. That's our primary focus here. And our mission is to serve people going through challenging life transitions. And with that mission, we first started reaching out into the veteran community, and we partner with a host of different veteran serving organizations, including Warrior Expeditions, which outfits veterans to hike the entire Appalachian Trail or Pacific Crest Trail or other trails throughout the country. We've worked with Team Red, White, and Blue, and we connected with Rodale because of their veteran farmer training program, and have been really in a relationship for about 3 years. And as Justin mentioned, in addition to providing free retreats for veterans and their families, we have about 25 arable acres that we ourselves don't farm. And so we wanted to do something in the community to promote farming, particularly organic farming. And so this was a perfect match for us. So what we do is we offer any graduates from Rodale's program 2 acres for 2 years for free to help you get your organic farm business started. And then, as McKenna can attest to, we also have a tractor, we have ATVs and trailers and water and a host of other things that we provide you access to again, help you get started. Well, our goal in this program is to sort of reduce the risk of entrepreneurship. So if you get into this and you realize that, 6 months or a year down the track, you don't really want to be an organic farmer, you haven't wasted any of your own resources to find that out. And then again, if you find out you absolutely love it, and after 2 years, you want to stay with us at Common Ground, we would just write up a lease agreement for the land, a very reasonable lease agreement. And if you're doing so great after 2 years, you can afford to buy your own tract of land and start, bigger and better, then so be it. You've left some good resources behind for the next person that comes through the program. So we've thoroughly enjoyed having McKenna here. Thanks to the help of Rodale, we've been able to add more fencing, some more run-in sheds, and get some other farm equipment so that we can help the young farmers get a start at what they're doing. So we absolutely love the program and are really grateful to be partners. And with Delval too, by the way, Jackie, Joseph.
Thanks, Mike. And I can't take all the credit of we were able to help support McKenna and some of the other students over the past, courtesy of a USDA grant that we got. So I just wanted to give the true credit to where it belongs. That was a partnership with Delaware Valley University and Rodale Institute. We applied for this grant, and some of the monies were set aside to help the students, kind of get them up and running. So that pretty much, wraps up all the talking pieces that we want to address, and we wanted to leave the last 45-50 minutes part of the program open for any type of a question and answers that you as the participants have. We have a handful of recent graduates. We have Stephanie Moraes, who works, and Lonnie. They're both Delval staff, and they work in the admissions and some of the other programs. So if you have any Delval or enrollment specific questions, feel free to reach out to them. If you have more program type questions, feel free to ask Dr. Okada or Joe or myself about anything that's specific to Rodale. And we'll hang here till, I think we're here till about 7:45 or 8 o'clock or whenever the questions stop. So I'll shut up and start looking for questions. One of the ways you can do that is through the question and answer button that should be at the bottom, and we'll try to answer questions in that manner. So don't all ask at once. Maybe everyone's typing. One other thing, if you think of a question, 5 minutes after this webinar's over, feel free to send an email to either Joe or myself, and we'll be able to send it to the appropriate agency or organization if we're not able to directly answer them ourselves. Again, my email, I'll put it in the chat box for everyone. I'll put my phone number in there as well. Just that way they all have it. So just give me a second, I'll throw it in there.
I wanted to comment, just in case you're worried about coming back to school. We really understand that. Our classes are college level, but they're designed for folks who may not have been in college for the last few or however many years. We've had students of all ages and all decades.
I see a couple questions that are anonymous that came up. So one says, are you planning, and this is Stephanie, by the way, sorry, from Del Val. One says, are you planning to offer any master's programs in the future? We do currently have some agricultural-based master's programs, nothing specific for organic farming, but we have agribusiness that just started, so that may be something that you're interested in if you wanted a master's degree. The other question I see is, I live in Quebec and I'm already working on a farm, but I need a certificate. Do you have the program over the internet? We don't currently offer this program completely online. Right now, we are running the coursework online as a result of current restrictions from the pandemic, but I can say that we don't have plans to offer it completely virtually right now. And let's see, besides becoming a farmer, has anyone else went in a different direction? Joe, do you want to field that one? You're muted.
Besides, okay. Which one, Steph? I just went over to.
Besides becoming a farmer, has anyone else went in a different direction?
Sure, yes. I think Dr. Okada stated, or Justin stated, that some students have continued with their education. So It's 36 college credits for the certificate, but you can roll it over to a sustainable ag degree or horticulture degree. And we've had some students continue with that, or also work for a farm too. Instead of owning, they become farm managers.
Yeah, or you can be Joe and you can stay with us forever.
That's right. I was in the program, so if anyone wants any first-hand knowledge or experience, I can give it to you.
Joe, the student I ever had come through the program. So.
Thank you, Justin.
We've also had students, go into the kind of the landscaping area. We've had some students who have gone into more of like working with restaurants because, they have this background in learning how food has been produced. So yeah, we've had students go in a number of different directions.
One other direction that we've seen at Rodale and also Del Val is some people that have come from the medical field where they understand that side of health, but they want to understand what are they putting into their bodies. So they come to it, not necessarily that they will become farmers themselves, but they want to understand the food system and what they're putting into their own bodies. So it's more of more of a nutrition standpoint as well. Some people have also gone into the program that way. Some of them, this guy was actually more of a veteran, but he was a Del Val student, but he was interested more in becoming like one of the certifiers. So he wants to work for the U.S. Department of Agriculture as one of their inspectors that goes around and inspects the farm. So he didn't necessarily want to own his own farm, but he wanted to have his hand in agriculture in a different manner. Anyone else? I'm sure we left something out.
Dr. Ricotta, somebody meant, I think McKenna mentioned John Winter's retreat. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, that's an awesome, yeah. So John Winters was actually a school teacher for many years and decided he wanted to change his career. So he came and spent a year in the program, and he was actually able to purchase a bed and breakfast. And as part of the program, we were actually able to send him up to it's like a farm stay bed and breakfast up in New York. So we sent him up there to learn from what they're doing. And now he is, I believe he's already moved up to Vermont to start his second career, both farming and hosting guests on his farm. So that's a kind of a really interesting thing that he was able to do.
Yeah, and just to reiterate what Jackie said, I mean, she wasn't kidding when she said that we have had students from all ages. We've had students from teenagers up to people in their 50s and 60s, and literally anything in between. So
this is Stephanie again. I see some questions coming through. To Nancy, we do have 2- and 4-year degrees. We don't have degrees in specifically organic farming, but I believe Justin mentioned we do have a 4-year degree in sustainable agriculture. That is something that students who go through this program and want a 4-year degree typically pursue after. We also have, environmental studies, typical, more traditional agriculture degrees, a lot of things that totally run the gamut. We've got business degrees. It really all depends on what you're looking for. And I'm happy to speak to you, Nancy, more if you're interested in that. For Lorenza, about the fall semester being offered in person. Currently, we are planning to offer the fall semester in person. We have a special team in place to make sure that we're adhering to all the state's regulations and guidelines, and our plan is being approved by the state as we speak. So I can tell you right now that the plan is to be physical, but I can also say we don't have a crystal ball. And if we are forced to go virtual again, we're prepared to do that as well. We're doing that now. I think it's pretty successful. We spoke to students and everybody seems to be having a pretty positive experience with it. I'm excited. It's opening some new ways for us to reach more people with this information. So virtual is kind of turning out to be a really fun adventure for us. And the last question I'm seeing, the tuition per the semester it's $554 a credit, and financial aid is available for that. So if you wanted to do that, you don't have to take the full 12 credits of the program. You can do it part-time, but if you wanted financial aid, you have to take at least 6 credits a term. And Nancy, I do see your email, so I will shoot you some information.
One of the things that's been nice is that in spite of everything going on with COVID-19, farms have not shut down. And so our students were actually able to continue working on farms. And we continue, we held the practicum online, and, so a lot of agriculture really has continued in spite of everything. So we've been really fortunate in that regard.
Yep, just the way that we've been working it at Rodale, the students have taken a lot of the chunks of the main majority of their classroom work has been done online, but the students will begin on-site hands-on training at Rodale the week after 4th of July. So they will be able to they're not missing out on any of their practicum stuff. They're still going to get their full 120 hours. So we decided to kind of front load some of their plant health and soil biology classes. So they have been online, but they are going to have a handful of labs with each hour where you went when they come back. I was actually coordinating that with each hour this morning, figuring out dates there in August so they can actually do some, and in July as well, so they can do some of their lab stuff. So when you mentioned, bringing your soil, they're literally bringing their soil from their backyard garden or the farms that they're working at, and they will be looking at it in the lab and then following up, a day or two later and looking at the results.
All right, more questions pouring in. Nobody wants to talk, everyone wants to type. That's okay. I can talk forever, and I'm sure everybody else here can too. So I'm seeing from Sophia. Hi there, thank you for hosting this. I'm interested in closed environment vertical farming. Do you have any program courses that cover this topic? We do have a lot of hydroponic, aeroponic, aquaponic type things. We have at Del Val, and I know Rodale has not specific, I don't think you have closed environment other than a high tunnel, right, Justin?
We have, we have a bunch of high tunnels there and greenhouses, but
Okay.
there's not too much greenhouse work that they do when they come in the summer. Normally they would do the greenhouse in May during their first 2 weeks here, but there's not a lot in our greenhouse at the moment. Most of it is in high tunnels already out in the field. But
Yeah, you don't want to be in the greenhouse in the summer.
Yeah, and it's like 130 degrees at times.
So we do a lot of greenhouse work for you guys in the spring. So the answer to your question is yes, we do cover that. You do work with that directly. Like Jackie mentioned, you have a whole course where you essentially are in the greenhouse and you get your own raised bed, and it's a nice test environment for you. I personally love that semester. Joe usually brings me the spoils from the greenhouse, and yeah. So me and everybody else on my floor really look forward to that class. So yes. And I see that someone asked if we have had attendants work full-time while attending the program. We have had people work. I don't know full-time, but yes, we've had people work while attending the program. We keep the classes 3 days a week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the summer, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's either mostly edged into the morning or the afternoon. That's so that you have designed to do the practicum and more flexibility for that. But certainly, yes, it's predictable. You could work with it. You would be hard pressed to do all of it at once. I think if you want to work full time while attending the program, you might want to consider doing it in a part-time basis so that the program would run for you 2, maybe more years rather than 1, just so that you don't overwhelm yourself. Because, you do have the practicum hours to think about too, and it could be a lot, but, I'll never say no, I'll just say consider.
The same goes for the summer semester. We generally work, or the classes and the practicum generally work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. 8 to 5 is pretty much the rhythm that we've been using since I've been involved with the program since 2015. That's the way we've been running it, 3 days a week. So maybe not the same 3 days that you may have in the classes in the fall and spring, but at least there is that predictability.
And I wanted to get back to Sophia, your question. So it's not part of this program necessarily, but in our horticulture major, we do offer, as Stephanie said, a class in hydroponics. So you really learn everything you need to know to grow in a controlled environment, whether it's a greenhouse or whether it's a shipping container, a warehouse, whatever. And then that's in the fall semester. In the spring, we have another class called greenhouse management that really helps students, again, learn how to manage these in controlled environment agriculture systems. And then that's bolstered by other courses in horticulture, from plant propagation to like floriculture production to lots of different things, again, in controlled environment agriculture. So we definitely have that, but just not part of this program. And we have a new faculty starting this fall who's going to specialize in that whole area. So we're very excited about that.
Hi. I was going to ask about what the housing situation's like there.
Yeah, I'll take that, Stephanie, again. So part-time students, which technically organic farming students are considered part-time, are not able to live on campus. We do have a link on our website that'll link you to local housing opportunities, whether it be apartments, someone renting a room, that kind of thing. Or, you know, Joe and I and Lonnie are always happy to recommend things that we see in the area. You know, we do live locally, so we have, you know, some options for you. I know that in the summer, I believe if you wanted to relocate to Kutztown, you could live on the Kutztown campus. They allow that for people to live in the dorms through the summer. We do have a lot of students that end up camping out too for the summer, which is fun and interesting. And sometimes they do it in a group, which I love. Or you can commute. It's, what do you think, Joe, about an hour 45, something like that?
From Del Val to Rodale, hour 15.
Yeah, it's about an
Yeah,
hour.
it's not that bad. Yeah, I did it. So, yeah.
Yeah, just to be clear, we do not have any housing on site at Rodale, but Kutztown University is located about 4 or 5 miles from Rodale. And in the summer months, they do generally have housing available because most of the Kutztown students go home for the summer. So there are rooms available, and there's even 1 or 2 students this summer that are, you know, using some of those rooms. I just want to be clear that they are not on site at Rodale. So.
Sorry, yes, I just said Kutztown. I forgot the university. Sorry about that.
Yep. Turn those brains. I'm sure there's questions out there. So. Like I said, if you think of something tonight or tomorrow, you know, feel free to contact us. Stephanie or Lonnie, what's kind of like the end date for when they could enroll for the fall semester?
Yeah, so what I like to tell students is I will take everything up until a week before the term starts. Technically, we have no end date, but for my sanity, I'd love to have your application and your materials a week before the term starts. This year it is August 24th, I believe, but I'll get that exact date when I dig into my computer a little bit. And if you come to me after that, listen, we can make it happen. It's just going to be more of a strain for you because you have to get me transcripts and more information, and then you'll have to make a lot of decisions very quickly. If you're thinking about the fall, I mean, now is a great time, but there's no wrong time. Technically, you can start up until a week into the semester.
Thank you.
Just if this is this coming fall is going to be just a slightly different in that we start, as Stephanie said, on August 24th, but we will be finished by Thanksgiving. So essentially, you're just devoting about 3 months to the program, because we're just everyone at Thanksgiving. We're going to finish with our final exams online, and some classes may even be completed by then. So it really is just between August 24th and whatever that Wednesday is right before Thanksgiving. So it's a little bit, all the coursework is going to be fit in. It's just going to be slightly compressed this semester. We don't get a fall break.
Yep. And as I mentioned before, if you're still not sure, you could always start at for the spring semester, which would be in January, or the summer semester. Normally it's kind of hard to say because there's like a handful of students that begin at the beginning of each semester. So each cohort or each group that you go through, some people it's their third semester, some it's their second, some it's their first. So everyone kind of has their own, unique experience going through the program.
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing that McKenna brought up that we should mention, it is even possible to complete your 4-year degree at the same time. A lot of the classes, the organic farming certificate classes overlap, with, or you could use them as part of the sustainable ag program. So kind of getting back to almost Nancy's original question, if you go into Del Val, wanting to get a sustainable ag degree, you would have enough credits every semester, you'd be a full-time student. You can knock out the organic farming certificate at the same time. So it's like, why wouldn't you do it?
Right.
And none of the classes have prerequisites. So if someone wanted to use this program as a gap year, if you're just finishing up high school and you're not sure what you really want to do, but you think it might be farming, you could do that. We also have had students in the program who have done what is called WWOOFing, which is Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms. So they have worked internationally and then done our program because they've had such great experiences on these organic farms in other countries. We've had people from the program go to organic farms in other countries to work as well. So that's something that there's a lot of flexibility and there's a lot of options, both before, during, and after the entire program.
We'll give it a few more minutes. I just don't want to squash anyone. If we don't get anything in a few more minutes, then like I said, we'll sign off and wish everyone a good evening or good morning for some people that are joining us. I saw someone from the Philippines and from India and stuff like that. So again, thanks for joining.
Yeah, if you guys don't ask questions, I'm going to have to participate in bedtime, and this is so much more fun. That wasn't even a joke. Oh, thank you, Nancy.
My daughter was creeping around trying to bomb, Zoom bomb our situation, but she managed to not make it on screen. So
That's an impressive feat.
I'm not going to roll my dice, not going to roll the dice again. So. All right, well, if I don't have anything, or if nobody else has any other questions, or if there's any other final comments, I'll leave it up to the panelists. As I mentioned before, this is a recorded event, so we will post it, so if you forgot your question or you want to tell your your friend or family member about this, just be sure to check out, the Del Val websites and the Rodale websites, and we should have this posted. Or, reach out to any of the people here, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Any comments from the panelists? I'd like to thank them all for joining and participating in this. As you can see, this is definitely a team effort to make this program successful. It's not just one or two people, and there's even a bunch of people even behind the scenes, that all the other professors that provide the classes. We didn't want to bring them all on here, or we would just be talking to ourselves all night. So tried to pick all the big rock stars for tonight. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody for participating, the panelists and all the guests.
Yeah, we'd love to see you this fall. We have a lot of fun, a lot of great learning going on in a good atmosphere.
All right, thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Thanks.